You know, Kato, these Jag XKs, they've been around a while, but they're a fine-looking car.
You know, our buddy Ian Callum, the chief designer there, he did a nice job with this car because, you know, really underneath, most of the mechanicals were carried over. They upgraded them, but they didn't make huge changes.
So if you're a Jaguar dealer, the problem is it's a nice-looking car, but they've had it before.
Well, yeah, now we're getting a third and fourth year, and so you need to, well, this is kind of the XK Lite back here.
The Lite.
Yes, it is, and that's not just because it's white and it's a convertible, but there's a better one. There's a more high-performance one, and it's over there.
Ooh.
And here it is.
Supercharged.
Well, look, if you want to squeeze more performance out of an engine, you just push air and fuel into it. That's what that does. And does this XKR ever fly? I mean, they got a new rear end in the back of this, bigger brakes, tighter steering. This, well, it's about half the money of an Aston Martin DB9.
Oh, of an Aston Martin, half the money. You had me excited for a moment. So that means 120-ish.
Yeah. So you get almost the same performance in a car that's at least as pretty. For half the money, you could buy a condo with the leftovers.
Maybe I will. You drive. You know, it's as elegant inside as it is out.
They've done a nice job with very simple designs, you know. I mean, there's none of these fancy controllers. The touchscreen is really functional.
And it feels like a sports car cockpit.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of hunkered down in here. It makes you want to go fast, you know?
Yeah, well, 420-something horsepower, that'll get you going.
Well, you know, the blower, the supercharger, is a very effective way to squeeze a lot more horsepower out of the engine, and I really like what they've done here. What I really, really like, though, is what they've done to the suspension and the rear end, the differential.
Yeah, it's a smart diff. It's good for corners. But that question I have for you, this is now a Tata. This is an Indian ownership.
Oh, no, it's not a Tata. They're operating the company as an independent company. They've just brought some financial controls to the thing, and one other really important element.
Tata's making money.
Well, Tata makes money, but Jaguar and Land Rover should too, because finally they got more realistic expectations about sales.
Yeah, well, Ford thought they could sell 250,000 of these things. That's ridiculous. What's Jag want to do now? 60, 50,000, something like that?
Management says that if Jaguar sells 60 to 80,000 a year, it's a very comfortable, very profitable car company. It's realistic. Finally, they've brought some sense. The Indians had to go and teach the Brits and the Americans how to do it right. This is Homestead Raceway, just outside of Miami. It's a famous track, and this is a car that belongs on a racetrack. This is the, well, it'll be the 2011 Lexus LFA. You can't even buy it right now, and when it's available, Lexus is only going to make 20 of these a month for 2 years. That's it. You won't find it on eBay. Now I'm going to get a chance to drive this on the racetrack. And what the most important thing for me in that is these brakes. These are really high-tech, race-like carbon ceramic brakes. They'll haul this car down from 100 miles an hour in a couple of seconds. And when I get on the track, I'm sure going to be glad that I've got them. Before I go driving, well, Paul, you know, you're the guy who is the Lexus College guy on this. And there's a lot of high-tech stuff here. Where does it start?
So it really starts with the heart of the vehicle, the V10 engine. This is a unique 4.8-liter V10 engine, 4 valves per cylinder, that's 40 valves total, and it was developed just for the LFA. It's not based on any of our current production car engines. In fact, this power plant is narrower, shorter, and lower than our V6 engines, like an IS-250.
Is that a race engine? Could I go racing with that?
Well, you probably could. It was developed by our racing engineers from Toyota Motorsports, along with our Toyota engineering, specifically for...
Now, Paul, you went to hit Lexus, you went with this mid-front engine design. Now, your competition, say the Audi R8, that's a mid-engine in the back, and a Porsche GT, that was at the back. So why'd you go with the engine up front?
So there's a combination of things you want a car like this to do, but part of it is high-speed stability, and part of it is acceleration. This combination with the front-mounted engine aft of the front axles and a lot of weight in the rear gives you a great straight-line acceleration. It allows you to use more of the rear tires for braking, but it gives you a car that's very balanced and, more importantly, very controllable, even at the edge of the handling limits. Some of those other kinds of layouts can be a little more prone to letting the driver who's less confident maybe lose control more dramatically. This is designed really to be an approachable level of performance.
Before I take this on the track, well, you got to hear this engine because it's maybe the best part of the whole car. Listen, listen. Formula One racing, here I come. Okay, I've got my lid on. I'm here at Homestead. It's the moment of truth. I get to take this incredible car out on the racetrack and drive it, in fact, with a race car driver behind me, Scott Pruitt. So I got to get in. Just got to twist and turn to get into the car. And one of the features I really love about this car is these seat belts, this right here, it's got its own airbag. So if I do get a little bit in trouble, this is going to save me from broken ribs. Okay, here we go.
Okay, it's against the rules to scare the passenger, all right?
This is Scott Pruitt. He's going to make sure I don't do anything too silly out here. Well, let's see what we can do on these 14 turns, and maybe we can get it up to 320 kilometers an hour. What do you think, Scott?
Let's go.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Now that was fun, that was fast. I didn't crash, and I didn't even make Scott Pruitt sick, which was very cool. Now the engineers are going to take over to make sure the tires are in good shape for the next driver. Whew, that gives me a chance to catch my breath here. Let me get all this gear off. Well, that's a supercar. Lexus, 500 in the world, that's all they're going to sell. But if you do get one of these cars, one of the beauties is it's very drivable. I mean, I'm driving on a racetrack here, no real problems, and really managed to air the car out. But if you're just driving day to day, well, it's got Navi, it's got all kinds of air conditioning, all the regular stuff you want in a fancy car. Pretty interesting model for them. We'll see if it works as a halo. Now when we exit the pits, we're not supposed to race out of here, we're not supposed to go crazy. You'll need your seatbelt. Here we go. This is the pits, this is the slow exit. All right, you'll go off.